But back to the surveys in 7 states, though, in the hardest staffed schools, there are teachers who are saying, we want to go there, but it's not it. Why are we leaving? What's the problem with keeping us? The problem with keeping us is lack of support, lack of instructional leadership, classroom management. They cite all those things. It takes about, they have to get down to around 5 or 6 before money appears. Money matters, but money is not the #1 factor which is driving our teachers out of the classroom. So again, over here on the other side, another facet of my job is that I go to State Board of Ed meetings on a regular basis, and at least they're taking a look at that. And one of the things they would like to do, I don't know if they ever will, is be able to return principals to their job. And a principal's job really is to be the instructional leader of the school. It is not to manage paper and books and supplies and money, but unfortunately, that's what happens. So somewhere, probably when I'm in my rocking chair, the state will come together with these. The beauty of our organization is that it's member-driven. We hear from the members all the time, and we get our feedback from them. They're telling us we need this and this should happen with this. And myself personally am a strong proponent of knowledge and skills-based pay, and I like the opportunity that if there is such a plan, this is my personal opinion, that I can opt in or I can opt out. Because some folks don't want to opt in. There are folks who don't want to be a part of it. And that's one of the beauties, I think, of the Prince George's plan. You have the opportunity to opt in, and when you opt in, you opt all the way in, or you are completely out of the program. But I guess to the researchers, one of the questions I would have that I haven't seen, where has there been a successful program? So there have been lots of startup programs, but have any of them actually done?
Depends on what you call success.
Well, achievement went up.
Some of them,
the whole system is happy.
Some of them measure success by big payouts. Some of them measure success by big payouts to teachers. Some of them measure success by lots of participation from teachers. Some of them measure success by recruitment. Some of them measure success by student achievement. And I think, as Tara said, what we found is mixed all across the board in all those areas.
One that comes to mind is the North Carolina plan. Remember how North Carolina brought everybody in, and they were gone unless they weren't the whole bulk of the teachers. They weren't there 3 years. And then the Massachusetts plan, where they paid them $20,000. Was that Massachusetts or Connecticut? Massachusetts, they paid them $20,000. Right now, if you're not following this, follow the New York story that says, who says teachers don't have it good with starting salaries of $100,000?
It's in the New York Times 2 days ago, I think it ran. But it's obviously this is a big challenge for us, and it's going to continue to be a challenge, and it's going to continue to be, cooperation, or it has to be melting of ideas with the union and school boards and other stakeholders. The union can't be on the side and say we're not going to engage. At one point we said that. Now we're engaging, but it's how we engage, and if we maintain the integrity of why we're here as an organization, it's the fairness of our members. And as I said, our members can decide to change. That just said we're member driven, so the members can decide to change if they want, and then we, the staff, we would have to follow along. I have a question there, and then I'll ask you.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, go first.
We talked quite a bit about the use of pay for performance for key teachers.
Yeah.
But what's MSTA's position on using it for recruitment purposes? And I'm wondering if I'm looking at this number.
Yeah,
I'm
see
wondering
what? Oh yeah, that's what.
If it's at all impacted by
Well,
the organization's desire to raise starting pay.
right. Okay, I'm glad you said that. Maybe you've seen that before, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. 40K, I wrote 40K because the NEA, National Education Association, a few years ago challenged its local and its state affiliates that at least every teacher should have a starting salary of 40K, $40,000. Now, in New Jersey, where they're pushing for a 50K, no big deal. Or in New York, But in Idaho, where it's $28,000, you know, it's difficult. But we're saying as a profession, we should at least have every teacher at 40K. So we took on that challenge. Maryland took on that challenge. And I'm happy to say Maryland was the first state that accomplished that. It wasn't easy, and I have an article that we gave to you, that Allegheny County, which is west of here, Allegheny County, I think it's 31,000, and they moved up in 3 years, they got to that 40K, because we strategized. I spoke before about we coordinate bargaining by regions, so we meet by regions. We know the school boards, they do that as well. So if we're going to bargain, we don't want to negatively affect our fellow locals. So we do it regionally, and we find out what have you done, what are the best practices in Washington County, in Baltimore County, that we can utilize here. What has worked there? So we can take it to the table and say, well, hold on. Let's discuss this a little bit more. This worked there. Now, for a poor county, in Allegheny County, over the years, they've had a whole lot of challenges with not having a lot of jobs, or jobs just leaving. They've decided that in order to retain the teachers that they do have, they would move it up to 40K. So everywhere in the state, it's at least 40K. Now, we're the first state. However, I did receive an email from a colleague, said, well, Hawaii beat you on that. And I said, no, Hawaii doesn't count. They have one school district, statewide school district. So all they have to do is convince the governor, and the governor signs off. So I said, no, we worked our tails off to get this in every county. So that's one thing we do to retain teachers. And I'll give you, we're talking about, Pat worked in Baltimore County. I'm the manager for Baltimore County from MSDA. Every year, I go up there to help to recruit new teachers. And you'll have 1,000 teachers, you'll have, I think the lowest I've ever seen is 700 new teachers coming in because they're bleeding. And one of the reasons they're bleeding is because Pennsylvania is so close. So Pennsylvania has a lot of teaching college. I'm going to tie this 6,000 into, because Maryland is short more than 6,000 teachers every year. We get teachers from elsewhere. We get teachers from other countries. But Baltimore County is unique in the sense that since Pennsylvania has all these teaching colleges, the teachers cannot get jobs there. So they come to Maryland, they go elsewhere. And as soon as there's an opening, you go back to PA, because PA pays more. And PA pays more, and the cost of living is a lot less. So we have those challenges in some of our border state counties, where folks come in, you get 2 years of experience, 3 years of experience, and you're gone. So we're replenishing them. So if we can compete salary-wise, we know our cost of living is still higher than those areas in southern Pennsylvania. And we can give them professional development, help them with tuition assistance, then we feel that they'll stay. And at least this last year, we had, we didn't have as many teachers that we had to hire. So that's one place. Other places are doing that, say they utilize the 40K or above as a recruitment and a retention tool. And so far it's working, but we're still so short on teachers in Maryland. We're way short.
We are so short that the governor's office convened a teacher shortage task force last year, and I think we spent 6 months. And when I say we, which is the beauty of it, MSDA collaborates with a lot of other organizations, so we were invited to be a part of the governor's task force on teacher recruitment and teacher retention. And there were people there from the business community, such as Northrop Grumman, Martin Marietta, so it was a complete cross-section. And so they produced a report with 25 recommendations on how to, again, retaining teachers is directly related to student achievement. And student achievement goes back to the high quality teachers. So unless we can keep them, I was just telling Dr. Martin, as you know, we're in an import state. This state produced 3,200 teachers, bottom line, last year. 3,000 teachers is not enough sufficient for the state. And it's the bordering states, and it's the salaries, and it's the working conditions, and it's the leadership. And so at least the governor's office is looking at those recommendations, and unfortunately, many of them were tied to money, and you know the current state of the economy.